Hello everyone, it's Andrew from Gem TCG, and in today's video I want to show you guys something that may be helpful for those of you that are thinking of converting from TCG player to eBay and want a quick way to do that, and also the fastest way to sell off your bulk cards in a route that would build up your eBay store and not just sell it as a one-off thing to some bulk buyer, make a small amount of profit from it, but that's it. Once it's gone, it's gone. This is something that you could build out an entire storefront for and make huge profit. And what it is, and what I'm going to be showing you, is making variation listings in the quickest way and how to do it with quote-unquote undesirable cards but still make a huge profit and make a high sell-through rate. Because if you look at this listing I made, the 151 reverse hollows, choose your card, and then I have all of the reverse hollows in a set like this. I've sold 3,000 copies of these cards, and if you look at the prices, it's not cheap. I'm selling them for $2 each. They cost me not even 4 cents at the time. I was probably paying lower because I remember bulk was a little bit lower when this set came out. So I'm turning basically 3 cents into $2, and obviously minus fees and all that, it's a lot lower, but still the profit is huge on these, and the quantity or the supply is so easily available that it's a huge win and a huge staple to a large and growing eBay store. And now you might be thinking, oh, this is going to take a extremely long amount of time, adding all these variations, putting these pictures up, and doing all that. And I will admit, the normal way to do this is very slow and clunky. But that's why I want to show you this feature, because I don't think I properly showed this feature in a video, and this will help for those two examples. And I know I've been getting a lot of questions about how to transfer from TCG player to eBay, so I think this would be the perfect way to do that. So what you would want to do is if you're already on eBay and you just want to learn this process, there's no real default you have to do. But if you're on TCG player, something that you can do would be to go to the pricing, and let's just say I have a lot of probably Paldea Evolved near mint cards. For some reason my TCG player is not working. Oh no, I'm looking at stage, that's why. So what I would do is I would go to my live inventory and see what I have in stock, and this will help for the later set. But get this ready. So I have 17 cards, and then what you'll want to do, and obviously if you're doing this full time on TCG player, you're going to have a much larger variety. I only have 17 different cards. But basically, you'll have these quantities ready. So I have all these right here. And then we'll go here to TCG Automate and put the batch name as whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. You could pick a title template, select your store category that you want, multiply the price. Let's say you want to do a 30% multiplier. You could select that. And then you choose the card game that you're going to be doing it for and the set. So in this example, I'm going to be doing Paldea Evolved. And you could also narrow it down more than that. So let's say you only wanted to do, what I do for my variation listings is I'll do commons, rares, and uncommons. I don't like putting, or actually sometimes I do the ultra rares too. So we have that. And then you could also narrow it down by the type. So water, trainers, lightning. I'm going to leave that blank for now. This is probably more helpful for Magic because the sets are so big. But for this, if we just look at the selection, 202 cards will be added. And you could also go here and narrow it down even more if you want to manually exclude some cards. And then what you do is you just confirm and create. And right there, it took 5 seconds. We get this full list of cards, and it has all the images, all the names, the market prices, and everything you would need for something like this. And then basically you don't really have to change anything because the title is generated how you want it to be generated, and you can add or remove things if you want. And then what you'll do is you'll go to this download variation listing. So actually, before I do that too, I want to get a stock photo, because this is, you could manually make a better looking image for these, but I just like using the stock photo. It might even be like, I might actually advise that you make your own image, because some people, they do message me asking if it's for the ETB itself. So if you want to avoid that confusion, just put a few pictures of the cards in there and then say choose your card. And I could show you an example of what I mean. So like this one. This one I put all the different types of cards and then I say what it is. Sword and Shield Full Art, V/Trainer, choose your card. So do whatever you want. If you have the time, I would recommend making it like that because it stands out more and it's easier to understand. Then once you have that, download the variation listing, and I'll just copy that. And for this one, it's Paldea Evolved. I would do sort variations by alphabet, and what that would do is, I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but in the batch page, it showed like the Bramblin or whatever that card is called, and then it showed like a Palmont, and then it went down to Abomasnow. You want to have it alphabetically ordered, so that way when you're managing your inventory physically and updating quantities, you will have it in the order that's needed. And you don't want to be having it out of place because it just makes it so much more time consuming to list your cards and do all that stuff. So just do it alphabetically. And it's also just easier for the buyer to find what they're looking for. Because right here, let's say they needed the Poliwhirl. They could scroll down to P, find what they need, sold out. Poliwrath. They find what they need, they add it to cart. But if it's out of order or if they need to know the number of it, it's a lot more difficult to do that. So do sort alphabetically unless you really like the numbers, but that's what I do. And then for that part, you want to choose an image for the main image file. So just select any image you want. And then once you're ready, you just click download variation. And then once you get that CSV, you go to eBay, so the link is right there, and then you just upload it here. Now I'm not going to do that because I already have a Paldea Evolved variation listing, and I don't want to make any issues with that. But if you do that, your store will have a huge benefit from it, because if you just look at my store, and I have all these categories for choose your card, but I have all of these choose your card type listings, and the sell through on these are huge. And I know a lot of you guys have said that it hasn't been as successful as I make it sound like, but there are a lot of important things when it comes to making these. I've seen some examples from people that have said that it doesn't work, and there are a lot of things that they missed or looked over which caused them to not sell. But if you make it through TCG Automate, it bypasses all that and protects you from making those mistakes, because it makes the titles for you. It does the alphabetizing for you, the specifics, everything you need. It does that all, so that way it's just like, think about it. I basically just made a brand new variation listing with 202 cards in not even 2 minutes. That's unheard of. It would probably take you 1 to 2 hours to do that from scratch if you were to do it all manually. And this is just, I don't know, it's just a very important thing for you guys to be doing. And then back to, actually this is a part I forgot to show, but it kind of ties into the TCG player part. So now I have 12 bosses orders, and then I have 3 bravery charms. I would go here, and actually before I do that, I would just sort this by title right here. And then bravery charm, I would put 3. And then I would see bosses orders, put, what was it, 12? I don't know. But basically you would just go through, update these quantities, and then that's it. You do that, put them all there, and it shows up in the variation listing too. And a cool thing, this is just for fun, but it shows you the total amount of cards you'll be adding and the total market value, which I think is pretty cool. I like looking at that number when I make a batch. But then you basically take all this quantity that you have, clear it from TCG Player, upload to eBay, and voila, that's all. And I will be adding, a lot of you guys have been asking for a way to do this for reverse hollows. Now the only issue is that I don't have stock images of reverse hollows for all the cards, so that's going to be a little bit difficult. I don't know if it's going to be an issue if there's this image but you call it a reverse hollow, but we'll see. And that way, if you want to do all commons, uncommons, normal, and reverse hollows, you could do that. Or if you want to just do entirely reverse hollows, you could do that as well. So that'll be something I will add soon. So stick around for that. Maybe join the Discord or make an account so that way you can get updated on it. And also, while we're on this, I do have a Black Friday deal going on. I'm currently doing 30% off with the code Black Friday. So check that out if you've been thinking about trying this tool. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I'm not going to make a video tomorrow because it's Thanksgiving, or actually probably Friday either. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, for watching. Thank you all for helping me get to 5,000 subscribers. I just saw that the other day. That was crazy. And I hope you guys all have a great Thanksgiving. Hope your sales do very well for this weekend and that, you don't get like too overwhelmed. But hopefully it's a very good weekend for you all. But yeah, thank you so much. I'll see you all next week for some new videos.